Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how you can connect up Google Stadia with a Mac and also Nintendo Switch controllers. This is something that I've been doing specifically for F1 2020, so I'm going to show you how I've gone about doing it. So let's run over some of the equipment that you'll need for this video. The first of that equipment is some JoyCons. You need two JoyCons and you will need a left and a right one. You do not have to have this central control column. However, it does make it easier to control in-game play. The second thing you'll need is a MacBook. You'll need to make sure that the game specifications meet up with your Mac specifications and you're running the latest OS. The third thing you'll need is a Google account because you'll need to run Google Stadia. So before we begin, one of the biggest misconceptions is that you need a Google Stadia Pro account or you need to get the controllers. I actually wanted to get a cheaper way of accessing F1 2020 whilst on my devices that I already have. So you do not need to purchase the Stadia controller. You can use your Nintendo Switch controller if that's why you're watching this video. And you do not need to upgrade to Google Stadia Pro. You just need to purchase the game outright. Okay, so first things first, you need to create a Google Stadia account. When you're creating a Google Stadia account, you'll be recommended to upgrade to Stadia Pro. You don't need to do this. I made this mistake. In the UK it cost me $8.99, but because I had the free trial, I managed to cancel it before that. However, you do not need this for F1 2020. The second thing you need to do is check whether your Nintendo Switch controllers, the JoyCons, work with your device. In this case, let's take the Mac. So all you need to do is open the Bluetooth preferences section on the Mac. You'll find this at the top, and once you open this Bluetooth preferences section, if you press the central button inside of your Nintendo Switch controller, this will then appear inside of the Bluetooth preferences section and you'll be able to connect it. This actually took a few moments for me to do. Actually took about 10 minutes of playing around with it. The main reason was because I already had 3 or 4 devices connected to my Mac, so just be careful that you're connecting the right things, and obviously you can switch off any other Bluetooth ones so it doesn't complicate or make it difficult. Good thing is, well, if you've got a spare set of JoyCons, this will be perfect because you can connect those too. And once the system knows that these are your JoyCons, when you load up Stadia.com, they'll connect up instantly. And you'll see something called controller linked. Number 3 step is obviously to purchase the game. In this case, I think F1 2020 was £43.99. I think I got a £10 off. Currently, I think they're running a deal, but at a time you can look around for deals running on Stadia. Once you purchased it through Stadia, you can then open it up, connect the controller, making sure that the controller is properly connected. Now, a few things that I found, particularly with the controller, is making sure that it's connected effectively before. You should see a circle blue light on the right Joy-Con, and on the left Joy-Con you should just see that it is connected to player 1. Another note as well, when you're playing particular games on this, I noticed that the battery life of the Joy-Cons was very much reduced. I probably got about 1 to 2 hours worth of gameplay on it before they fully ran out and I needed to charge them. So make sure after every use with Stadia on your Mac and on Chrome that you recharge your Joy-Cons. This is something that I've learned from my experience. But if you've never used Stadia before, just make sure you go to fast.com. This is a service run by Netflix that checks your internet connection. I find that if my internet connection's lower than 75 megabytes, which is higher than most average networks, it actually runs a lot slower, and you'll notice this in the gameplay. As you can see here, I've got the controller set up, and it's quite easy to use the back buttons as a way to move the car around, do some braking, and obviously accelerate as you move away. One of the things that I found was that sometimes it does lag out if you've got low internet connectivity, which is definitely a pain when you compare it to the PS4 or the Xbox One at 100%. But aside from that, they set the controller out pretty flexibly, so you can use things like the right hand side to open up the manager, and as you can see here, you can activate the buttons to give you an indication of who's behind you, etc. And the plus or button in the top right hand corner opens the menu. You can modify all of the assists, all of the controls from here, and as you can see here, it's actually one of the presets, which is very cool. You can also use a keyboard if you didn't have a controller, so that is another option. So if you're someone like myself who doesn't want to spend £300–400 on a brand new unit like a PS4 or an Xbox One just to get a specific game, I actually was looking for F1 2020 and found that Stadia had it, and I thought it was, seeing that I had a Nintendo Switch and a Chrome based device that could run a powerful game like this, it actually made it a lot cheaper. So I only shelled out £44.99 for the actual game, and because I had the controllers, there was no upfront fee for that. So there's a lot of benefit to using something like this, and overall my experience has been good. I specifically try to use it when the Wi-Fi is good, because if it's not, you do see really poor performance, and a lot of the time I have to go into instant replay and redo a certain section of the track because the Wi-Fi started going a little bit grainy or made the car move, and for a game like that, it's definitely not the best. So this is really a cheaper solution of doing it. It's not necessarily the best way of doing it. If you've got the money to invest in a PS4 and Xbox One, then it's definitely better. But for someone who likes to keep things fairly minimal, I didn't want to buy a brand new unit and I wanted to keep things simple, this was actually a great setup. So folks, hopefully this was a useful review. Please do subscribe to this channel, and hopefully we'll do some more F1 2020 videos.